Oh, hello, Sigrun. I'm so excited to have you here during this interview. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for having me, Agnieszka. It's a pleasure, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, I need to introduce you for a little bit and I'll stall the, floor for you because I'm so excited that I've been working with you for so many years, since 2017. I might, say proudly say you're a godmother of a plotki business, which now is a really renowned brand here on Polish online market. And it's such a long story, but we won't go into that. But for you guys watching, I'm so glad to have this chat with Sigrun, because my story started with some free workshops that Sigrun was giving. And I knew nothing about online business. I was just thinking about it, hearing some stories here and there, but it was like this magical world with crazy people, jumping on stage and popping out of the, screen. But I didn't understand that word. And Sigrun was the person who not only did explain that to me in simple words, but also took me by the hand and gave me all the tools to actually create my own business. And I know, Sigrun, you have this beautiful tradition, and that's why I wanted you here on this interview, where you share a lot of knowledge that you take out from your paid programs, but you make it accessible totally free. And this, as far as I remember, it's nearly 9-year tradition, but still every year it's gathering more and more people. So today I wanted to ask you all about 12 days of masterclasses. How did it started? What is it? And why you keep on doing that? That's like crazy thing, giving away the best knowledge for free,
Yeah, well, it happened very organically. In my first year of online business, which is now almost 10 years ago, I had no clue what I was doing, even though I had been a CEO for 10 years prior, and I had studied business, and I was actually running a website agency. We're doing websites and everything. When it came to online business under a personal brand, I did not have a clue what I was doing. And so I was creating freebies, blogging, dabbling in my website, the typical things that people do when they start out. But selling was really kind of a hard thing. I'm like, what do I sell and how do I sell it? And how do I not come off as a sleazy and salesy person?
Yeah.
And so I created a freebie after a freebie. I created a freebie, like a 3 or 4 part video series. And I'm like, oh, it's about Facebook organic reach. I don't want to be known for that. So I took it away. Then I did a 7-day challenge on how to find your passion and the right business idea. I didn't sell anything afterwards. I didn't realize you should. So I did a lot of things and slowly built my list. But I was like, there's something wrong here. And then I came on to webinars. I did my first webinar in the summer of 2014 in my first year of online business. It was just like a thing. I was trying another thing. It was not like a big strategy behind it. And it was about Canva, and 67 people signed up. I did not sell anything. I didn't realize you should sell on a webinar.
Yeah.
The webinar was just actually like what I call a masterclass about Canva. 60 minutes of amazing content. Basically a course in 60 minutes. And I was so happy afterwards. People were so happy. Didn't make any money, but everybody very happy. And I thought, I'll do it again. So 2 weeks later, I did the same thing, Canva again. I loved it. Again, about 60, 70 people signed up. Then I learned to do Facebook ads. And then I decided I'm going to do different topics and I'm going to do this weekly. I realized that this is just, I need to build my list. And eventually I want to sell something, but I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
I figured out later what I would sell. But basically, if we just want to talk about the webinars, a year later, I have over 50 webinars, and then I have 60, and then I have 70. And what I did, I had created a webinar membership. So I'm putting the webinars into memberships. It's a low-cost membership. And I still think, I have all these webinars. I can do something with it. I should use it for marketing. And it was getting closer to Christmas. I love Christmas. And I thought, 12 days of masterclasses. Or I think I actually called it 12 days of webinar for a couple of years before I changed the name. But 12 days of Christmas came to my mind. Maybe I saw someone do advent calendar or something. I don't know where the idea came from. But basically, I started to do it. And it was, again, just list building. I wasn't selling anything. But when you do something so amazing, so I took the 12 best masterclasses that I had recorded. We put it on basically there was no Facebook group. They got access to one masterclass a day, and then I took it away. That was a lot of issues.
A lot of work, yeah.
Me and like, I need the masterclass from yesterday. I desperately need it. So after doing that for 2 years, we went to giving people access to all 12, and you have access for 12 days. That was a lot easier. Then we added a Facebook group. First, I just was using an old Facebook group, and then I realized it's better to use a new Facebook group. So there was always like tweaks every year, but I started to kind of think of this, because the first year I did it, I was selling one-on-one. No, I was selling groups, sorry. In 2015, I was selling some group programs. And so I'm not selling anything on the masterclasses, but at the same time, I'm emailing, I'm selling some group programs. And I made 40,000 indirectly in December 2015. The following year, I made indirectly 260,000 in November and December. So I started to think like, this is like a launch strategy. Yeah. So it organically, it wasn't like this master plan. And then I started to kind of like, okay, they signed up for 12 days of masterclasses. It's pre-recorded. I warmed them up. And then we launched in January with either a one-off webinar or a 5-day bootcamp. The 5-day bootcamp became my thing. And so over the years, we kind of improved everything. We always make sure we have a fresh Facebook group. We always make sure we pick the best masterclasses. Sometimes they are fresh. Sometimes I take a masterclass that's 2 years old because it was a great topic. Sometimes I realize the masterclass was not good. So I'm like, I'll not take this one again. And so we had our system and it was great. And we were able to generate 7-figure launches 2 years in a row. And things were going great. And then last year, basically 2021 and 22 were difficult years for me. In 21, I got sick with RS virus and landed in hospital and was sick for 6 weeks, had brain fog. I had all these symptoms that they talk about with COVID, but I had it for RS virus. And then at the end of 2021, my parents got sick. My dad was in ICU in Tenerife, Spain. And so I flew over there and I thought I would stay for a week. And I ended up staying for 2 months and I couldn't work. And suddenly we are in the middle of December and we still pulled off a 7-figure launch. But what happened in 2022 is that my energy was very low. It's interesting how you think like, now the drama is over. Everybody's back home and they are kind of healthy and I'm healthy again. And you think, this is good. That's when you get the post-traumatic stress. Yeah. So I think 22, I lost my marketing team as well. So I had these personal challenges and the professional challenges. And I think I had the after stress. Well, when I started to select the masterclasses, October, we tried to do it early if we can. I'm like, I don't like the topics. They felt repetitive, like, I've done a masterclass on this 2-3 times, or this doesn't sound exciting. This is not like what people want to hear. So I came up with new topics. And then I thought, okay, I have to record those masterclasses. And then my assistant blocked time in my calendar. And I said, I think I need 2 or 3 hours for the slides. I need 2 or 3 hours to record. Yeah. It's probably 5 hours per masterclass. So you can imagine what goes into each masterclass all the time.
Exactly. I just admire you because that's so much work and you give away for, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like there, I'm going to record it. And I did not record it.
Happens, yeah.
Well, I do procrastinate on things I don't like doing, and I think we all do. And I do not like, I actually want to use the word hate. I hate recording when no one is there. Like, I love doing webinars, Facebook Lives, all that things that are live, but not pre-recording. And so, I procrastinated. And suddenly it was getting too close to Christmas, and my team was getting worried that no masterclass had been recorded, not even slides prepared. And I said, just going to do it live. And now, knowing what I know now, it changes everything. So suddenly our launch plan should have been adapted, but nobody thought of that, not even myself. And we go into 12 days of masterclasses, and the energy is just, you know, it's very different to have something pre-recorded and you stream it into the Facebook group. So it looks like it's live, or actually doing it live. The energy is like through the roof.
It's crazy. You know, I had people from my community asking me like, Aga, what's the name of her dealer? Like, she's doing that 12 days in a row. No, like live person can pull off that. Like, what she's saying.
I do have a lot of energy if there's nothing like traumatic happening in my life. And those years, 21 and 22, I do think actually doing 12 days of masterclasses gave me energy back.
Yeah.
I needed it as much as those who attended. I needed it to see what I'm capable of, to come up with new topic and think of new ways to teach what I've been teaching for 10 years. And it gave me so much energy to have some new angles on how I teach my topics. So I'm taking the best of my content and putting it into the masterclasses, and want people to be inspired, that to believe that they can do it. And we have, I would say 50% are those who haven't started yet. You know, they are just looking around and they get inspired to start. And that makes me so happy. And the other 50% have started already, but they haven't figured out. And maybe they're doing the spaghetti marketing that I did in my first year of business. And then I want them to see what they should not do and what they need to do instead. And so I love doing it. I think I'm hooked. I need it for myself, but also what a great gift that I can give every year. And I love that we do this also over Christmas. People are like, this is nuts. Why are you doing it over Christmas? And I also have to ask everyone I hire on my team, I have to ask, can you work over Christmas? Because this is our biggest marketing campaign. And this is where we can help most women, because actually this is the time. Even though you have a dinner or a lunch party and family gatherings, women have told me that this is actually the time they can sit down 1 hour a day.
That's so true, because, you know, at the end of the year, we are in the season of, you know, on one side, taking a look at what happened, but also at this festive time where we actually can stop doing the things we used to do or do regularly every day. Like Christmas is this magical moment to stop, reconsider, maybe pivot, maybe have this, you know, big decision that we don't do when the life is happening on a roll. And I really admire, because, you know, I have so many friends from both like high-end masterminds that are like in the business for 5-6 years, but also those who haven't yet started and have no idea about online business, but they all take so much knowledge from those masterclass, as if it's like on one side, putting the things, you know, in like maybe a perspective, getting back to the questions you should be like constantly repeating to ask yourself, but you always don't find time. But at the same time, it's such a beautiful way to start. And I always tell my community, because there is this language barrier, because you deliver the workshops in English, and I'm constantly amazed. Maybe it's also because it's not your mother tongue, but I'm constantly amazed the ladies that don't believe in themselves to, you know, work with international coaches or invest their time into English speaking programs. They come back with this feedback like, wow, Agnieszka, suddenly English is not so hard. It's not a barrier. It's like somebody told me all the steps in a simple language. And to me, that's, you know, that's this part of your genius as well. Like, it isn't really fancy to use this flourishy English. It's really hard to explain to somebody difficult concepts, but in a way that somebody can understand that, right?
Yeah, I always say I use baby English. And when I studied MBA in London, I was very concerned that I would not be treated as an equal, because I know my English is good, like I understand it well, but I speak very basic. I don't use fancy words. And they promised me that it would not affect my grades. I was very worried that it would affect my grades, because, and then in my study group was a lawyer, and her language is like, you know, you don't understand everything. But no, it did not. And I think it's actually now, many years later, I realized what a quality it is when you speak clearly, use simple words that people actually understand. And I think it's so important. Yeah. Anyway, if for anyone understanding me now, it's not going to get much more complicated.
Exactly, that's a great point. And I also want to ask you about this upgrade, because I remember last year that was crazy, like this atmosphere, like being there live. Even me, I didn't watch all of them live because obviously Christmas happens, and like with 3 kids you are busy with the family, but it was such a gift to be at least at some of them live. The atmosphere was great, like people on chat were asking each other questions. I remember I also facilitated some extra discussion in Polish around those topics. How can we bring those topics into Polish market? That was also amazing. But I remember this upgrade, that those classes are live, was the big thing for me. And I know that this year it's also going to be live, right?
Also going to be live, but we always have something more up our sleeve. As you know, I love launching. I love marketing campaigns. And I always think, how can I get more people to show up so that they can have success? Yeah. Because that's the thing. If you sign up for 12 days of masterclass and don't show up, what's the point? So we are gamifying the experience, and we always kind of want to reward people for taking action and for showing up and all these things. So when you sign up, we do have a gift for people who reply to our email. We do have a quiz that gives you the 4 masterclasses for your stage of business, so you don't have to watch all 12. We do have a gift when you sign up for message reminders. We do have a gift when you join our Facebook group. We gamify it, not because it's just like fun to gamify it. It is proven, psychologically proven, that if you take more actions, steps, the participants, people listening or watching this, it is proven that you are more likely to show up for yourself and have success in life and business.
Exactly. And I love it that you make it so fun in the group. Like I love it that it's like this community of like-minded people. Let's be honest, those are ladies, like majority, like 99%. So we also feel kind of safe, that there's no criticism, like people who just like dare to say something rude just get kicked out. I really love that. That's also like this strong message, like we support each other here. There's nothing bad happening here. But what I also love, that people stay in your community. I'm the living example, right? Like my friends, they ask me like, come on, you know everything from Sigrun. Like, what else can you learn from her? But you have this beautiful gift of like keeping people around you in this beautiful community. It's like, it's no longer about this ego of a teacher, like giving you some knowledge. It's more about like, how can we like support each other? And I know that there are so many posts, there are so many like success stories, like I'm one of them, but maybe you have like your favorite, or like your stories that come up to your mind. There are so many of them. I will obviously highlight some of them here, but maybe there are some that come to your mind, like, because there are so many people who started with 12 days of masterclasses, they gotten to know you, what you stand for, and they were like, oh, I need to learn from that person. Like, I want more.
Yeah, well, I need to say that, this is different than what I expected when I started my business in English, living in Zurich, Switzerland, spent a lot of time in Reykjavik, Iceland, where I'm from. And I would run my ads in the US, UK, New Zealand, Australia. And I thought, if I do a business in English, I'll attract people from English-speaking countries. The absolute opposite has happened. So Germany is a German-speaking. I put all German-speaking countries, so that's part of Switzerland, Austria, Germany. They are still the largest community of my students. Poland is number 2.
Yes, I love it.
Then Czech Republic and Slovak, I also put them together because they have a very similar language. But that's been so exciting to see how that kind of gradually changes. And also like, people don't believe this when I tell them. I said, yeah, even if you do a business in English, actually what happens typically, people that are close to where you live.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, something with energy or something. And then you need some champions. So I've had champions in each country. Sometimes it's just one person that has success and talks about it and is willing to talk about it and has an abundance mindset. and sends students over to us and says, hey, go to Sigrun because, you know, this is where you learn that. And so you sometimes just need one person and then everything shifts and suddenly we have a lot of people from a new country and we're so excited. And that's exactly what I envisioned, an international community. Yes, our English is our common language, but there are these subgroups over the years in each country. And that's truly, truly beautiful. And then I see people, you know, years later, you know, like in Germany, because I had so many there in the beginning of my business, multiple seven-figure coaches that started with me many years ago, and that makes me so happy.
Yeah,
but you want to Polish example, and well, I'm an architect originally. You're an architect,
yeah,
and it was a huge, well, surprise and honor and just pride to see Agnieszka and Bartek take off with our Kickstarter program, and prove that what we teach also works for B2B, because it's always been like, yeah, you know, you can only sell online courses to individuals, and then it's very hard to sell them to companies, and they have proven otherwise, and it's beautiful to see how their business, online business, has taken off by, you know, taking the principle that we can kickstart. And so, yeah, I'm super proud of them, and I can only receive where the journey is going.
Yeah, I cannot wait as well. And I'm so glad because, you know, supporting you on the way and like really like recommending you wherever I can. People tend to like judge me for that sometimes, like, why are you not promoting your own business? You're always talking about Sigrun. Because I'm, you know, I'm supporting people with business, but I'm like, you know, I can never do it that good. Like, I'd rather send you there and support you on the way in the program. And I also add my little help on board of the program, because I'm not able to create something that Sigrun created. You're so proficient with, you know, giving people the gift of being independent in the business. And it's so funny because I can see it only now after so many years of working with you. It's not a matter of, you know, making you dependent on the coach and always investing. To me, what I appreciate, you give so many gifts that I gladly come back with new people, because it's like making us really independent in the business, making our own decision. Even now, when I invest in other coaches, like, I don't know, some mindset coach or something, I always remind myself that it was this ability of think about investing in general. And like my first big investment into like learning about online business was with you. And it did show me that it pays off to invest in myself. So that's this like foundation that I had at the beginning. And I'm so glad that people from Poland that came through me to your programs, they now become ambassadors. So I hope there's going to be more and more Poles in the program. It also makes it easier to learn together. Like, we have this specificity of Polish market, but you address those issues since there are more and more of us. Sigrun, I'm so glad we were able to talk about that. Maybe one last thought about 12 days of masterclasses. Is there some beans you want to spill here on? We're going to be publishing this interview maybe like right away, still before 12 days of masterclasses. So it's going to be easy to, you know, sign up, but maybe there's some secret that you want to share here.
I did mention some gifts, and some of the gifts are quite, you know, I don't have any freebies on my website, so there's no way to get those gifts unless you join 12 days of masterclasses. One of them is 50 ways how to make money online. One of them is mind shift, what mindset shifts you need to go through to actually be successful in life and business. We have some social media goodies and content tips. And then we, of course, have one of the new masterclasses, because I'm repeating some of them last year because they were so good.
Yeah.
That we are bringing AI. And of course, that's the topic of the year and moving forward.
I'm waiting for this one.
Yes, that's going to be great.
Oh, thank you so much, Sigrun. And thank you for this chat. I hope it's going to help our Polish community to jump on board. It's such a beautiful gift. This online business is such a tool for us women in entrepreneurship. I believe for me, that was a game changer for being a mom and having a business at the same time. So I believe there are more of us coming from Poland.
And it's a great time to do this all together over Christmas and benefit from the amazing community that is there at the same time.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Sigrun, for today.
Thank you, Agnieszka.